This is Carolyn from Carolyn's Paper Therapy. If you remember last week or so, I did a tutorial on preparing the tags from My Porch Prints. They're flip tags. And we went through each one and decorated each one, and I have them all in this box to pull from to put in my journal. I'm calling this journal Romantic Rose Journal, and I'm using the tags that I mentioned from My Porch Prints primarily through the whole journal. However, this journal I'm doing a little different from the others I've done, where they have lots of prepared pages and all the ephemera and everything included. So I've kind of combined a lot of things that I either had on hand or kits that I had already purchased. So this was going to be just a little different from what I've done tutorials on before. For the basic of the journal, I've used the My Porch Prints Sweet Shabby Rose papers. And I'm going to put this together just like I've done all the others, where I cut four papers. The outside one is a little larger. Each one is a little bit narrower so that when it's folded shut, it all folds together and nothing sticks out the edge. So I use that. I printed both sides, so I use this one first. This one will be the second pages. It ended up with the same pattern on both sides, which is fine. This one I chose for the third, and then the polka dot for the center. So I got those cut and prepared and cut the rounded the edges and started inking. And so today we're going to do the cover, which I've already done, but I will explain where I got all the parts from and how I put it together. And then these first two pages. So the cover is a little different because it's made, these two papers are from a sympathy card that I received when my husband passed away in December. And I always save all my cards, and decided that I would go through what I had from that period of time and see if anything matched this journal. And I came up with this one with the open Bible and the roses that matched our rose papers. And then I like the message on the front, say, "May God be with you." So this will be the cover of our Romantic Rose Journal. What I did was take the card and cut out this part off of it and cut out the saying. And then on the saying, I used this neat corner punch here that has 3 different types of corners that you can punch on it. And I used this one on this the corners here, so you can see the decorative corners. It's a pretty cool punch to have, just to fancy up when you round your corners. And so that's just cut out, the corners punched, inked, and then glued down. And on this part, I took some antique lace that I have and cut it and glued it in a square like a frame around the picture before I attached it onto the card, to the cover of the journal. Then before I glued it down, I got this ribbon and got it cut to length, and what it will do is wrap around to the back and tie the whole journal together when I'm finished. So I got it in place. I kind of tapped some glue in there to hold it before I pressed this down, and then I glued this framed lace frame picture down on top of it, so the ribbon is fastened on there. And what I plan to do on the back is the same thing. I'll decorate the back and it will hold this ribbon down for me. This little ticket here is from some papers that I have. I'm not sure which ones. Underneath it, before I pressed it down, I used some cheesecloth, and I have these pearls that I've used before. They come on a paper with, they already have glue on them, and you just cut the length that you need and then stick it on. And so she had a pearl necklace, so I put some pearls on her neck there. So that's our cover done. And this journal should go a lot quicker than some of the others that I've done, because we've already done all the legwork on creating these tags that we're going to put in the journal. So all we're going to need is pockets and some ephemera, because the hard work has already been done. So next we'll go to the inside front cover, which will be right over here. And I decided to use this tag that we made previously on the video just before this one. It has room to write on the back. And so I wanted to come up with a pocket to put it in. And what I did was take one of my papers that I had printed on both sides and cut it to the proper width. And then I decided to fold it down, because that gave it a more interesting look with the alternative pattern up against this one. So the first thing I'll do is glue that down. Then, in order to make a pocket for this tag to go in, I will glue down these bottom 3 edges right close to the edge, so I have plenty of room to slip that tag in. And this morning I did some work with my die cut machine, and I have this pretty lace die cut, and so I decided that I would cut out a few of them, and I'm going to use it on the edge of this flap. So I'll put some glue on it. Where this really fine tip comes in really handy to glue these things down with. Otherwise you'd have glue oozing out everywhere. You don't have to put glue on every single little section, just enough to tack it down. And I had already cut it to the length. I did not ink the edges on it. I wanted the white to stand out against this off-white. This tag will just slip right down in here. You don't have to put it all the way down, just enough to hold it in there. And I had fussy cut out some roses from some papers that I had, and inked on it Whenever you fussy cut, a lot of times there's some white areas that you just can't get to. So when you're inking the edge, just rub a little ink on there, and that takes that stark white away. This will go right on the pocket. Okay, that finishes up that page. Now we're going to put in the next set of pages, and this will be the next one that we'll decorate today. This one's even easier than that one was, because remember this one that we did, this tag, and I made this little paper clip with the little banner hanging down with the button on it. And so this is just clipped on the side here. So I decided that we would just clip this to the side of this page. And then it can be removed and written on the back. And because we're doing these tags, we're going to have lots of room for writing even on the page itself. So that's what I did with that one. And then I had run across these women. They're not stickers, but they're I got them off of Amazon, and they come in this little package, and there's all different little girls and ladies in clothing, and they could be colored or watercolored, and then glued on your page. So I've used one of them to put down here on the page, and then at the top I'm going to use these fussy cut roses. Like this. So I'm going to glue her down next. I used my colored pencils to color her dress and her skin, and blush her cheeks, and gave her some lipstick. I think you could probably use watercolors, or I don't know if you could use alcohol markers or not, but anyway, I use colored pencils. So I'm going to glue her down. And then underneath this fussy cut rose, I have cut some cheesecloth that I'm going to just kind of tack down on the page to go behind that rose. And then I will glue the rose down on top of it. I would suggest, while you are preparing to do this journal, if you want to do something similar of your own, that you go ahead and get those sweet shabby rose papers from My Porch Prints that will coordinate with your tags, and I even use them use the papers before on the back side of the tags. If you remember, I printed all the tags two-sided. So if you print those out and print one side and then feed them back through and print the other side random, it doesn't matter what goes on the front or back. You might pay attention to what is up or down on the paper if that makes a difference. And get your papers printed out and then arranged how you want them to make your 4 pages for this journal to be folded in half and put together. And then you can work with me through this. Basically, you will be selecting your own tags to go on whatever page you want. You don't have to do it like I've done it. This is mainly just to give you ideas of what you can do. And like I said, the hardest part has been done. If you prepare your papers, pull out some ephemera that will coordinate with this book, either from somewhere else, or print out the ephemera again that you used on your tags, just to use as filler spots. I'll use some stickers and all kinds of different things here to incorporate onto the page with a tag on each page. I hope you had a good Mother's Day weekend. I have the unique honor of having been born on May the 8th, which happens to be, which was Mother's Day on the year I was born in 1949. And it occurred on Mother's Day this year. And so I was able to take my mother, who is 94 years old, and take her on a little couple-hour trip down to visit my daughter and grandson and family. My grandson had a piano recital, which he did wonderful on, and he was so happy to have his great-grandmother and grandmother there to listen. And we had a nice birthday weekend. Because of the pandemic and my husband's illness over the past few years, the only time I've been able to go down there before the pandemic for several years was when my husband's son could travel from Texas 2 or 3 times a year to stay with his dad, so I could go down for a couple of days. And then the pandemic hit and he couldn't travel here, and so I had not been down there except for one other time just in the last few months, in over 2 years. So it was a really special trip, and so I have gotten a little bit behind on things. I've started gardening, and today it's just so hot outside, I decided to work on this journal and get you going on it again. So I hope you'll be able to get yours started and put together, or at least stay tuned. We'll get through this one probably in maybe even 2 or no more than 3 more videos, because we've already done all the tags that are going to go in here. So there's not a lot of instructions. I'll just show you how I lay it out and how I'm putting it together, and before you know it, we'll be finished. So I hope you've enjoyed this today, and remember, every day's a gift. There's so many things that we could be doing in any given day, and journaling, to me, making these journals is one very important outlet for me, where I can use my creativity and relax and share with you, and then give this beautiful gift to someone someday. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and so I'll say goodbye now, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.